And slowly answered Arthur from the barge, the old order changeth, yielding place to new. If thou shouldst never see my face again, pray for my soul. More things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of. Wherefore let thy voice rise like a fountain for me, night and day. Shh, 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 shh. Listen to this, Adrian. This is what King Arthur says. You'll soon be asleep. Close your eyes, my little lad. You'll soon be better. But now, farewell. I am going a long way with these thou seest, if indeed I go, for all my mind is clouded with a doubt to the island valley of Avilion, where falls not hail or rain or any snow, nor ever wind blows loudly, but it lies deep meadow. Adrian!
Deep meadow.
No, I do not mean it as a metaphor. I mean it as a poetic hope, a transcending dream, a possibility, a real possibility. King Arthur's tomb reputedly had the words, once and future king, carved into the stone. Once and future king. Well, it's clear, isn't it? It's quite clear. Arthur will again be king. He will come back. At England's hour of need, he will return, either transposed or transmuted or unrecognizable.
Where will he come back from?
Well, Avalon, of course. Don't be such a bloody illiterate, Nigel. Avalon.
Yes,
Where are you going?
Oh, God, it would be the top floor, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and the gilded one might even say, Baroque lips. Never damn well seem to work.
They all work. They only work if you want to visit somebody on street level. Soviet planning. It's a way to keep everybody fit.
Get up if the bug is not in. Anybody gonna give me a hand with these bloody cameras?
The summit of Mount Moscow.
Strip clubs on the left, brothels on the right,
Dump.
Kremlin in the middle.
Filthy, rotten dump.
Well, watch your tongue if I were you, Clyde. Walls do have ears.
You hear this? Well, nearly. Oh, we can't go much higher.
Yeah. 16th floor, you want me?
The garden will have to do this.
That's fine.
That's it. Komnata.
Yes. Number 5, you say?
Well, he's have a drink, fine.
Drinky.
What?
Is that what you people call it? Drinky?
No, we people don't, actually.
Here's what you call it, as long as it's booze.
Yeah.
Never seek to tell thy love, love that never token be, for the gentle wind has moved silently, invisibly. I told my love, I told her all my heart. Shit.
Shall I push the button again?
Don't tell me he's done another bunk.
Probably just a suit.
Chicken.
That's more like it.
That's right, it's Tavarishi.
Do you mind?
Sure, comrade's entirely the right word, sir.
Well, certainly.
They're usually known as gentlemen, you see. Gentlemen of the press.
Bums, in other words.
Do you think we might...
The Ministry of Internal Affairs arranged that we could-
Okay, well, come in. Gentlemen. If that is the curious appellation you even more curiously prefer.
Thank you very much.
Right. Good. Right. Well, this is home. Gentlemen of the capitalist press. Not exactly house and garden, but it's home.
I suppose it'll be all right, Miss Harris, if I take a few pictures of you and so...
No. No.
Huh?
No, not here. Not in this place. Not between these four walls. But just sit down. Let's all sit down, shall we? Hmm? Make ourselves comfortable. Have a little talk. Hmm?
Mr. Harris, may I say how extremely grateful we are for this opportunity of talking to you?
Where did you go to school?
Winchester, actually.
Ah, well, good. Manners maketh man. And so they should if you interpret the phrase correctly.
Perhaps we should begin by identifying ourselves. My name is Blake from the Amalgamated Press. It's Mr. James from the Combined British Agencies. Of course, out there with all the cameras is Thomas.
Bloody
another
camel, in
Englishman.
other words.
And the gentleman behind me here is Simpson from the Sydney Times. So, now you know who we are.
Well, I don't give a damn who you are. You all have the same sort of employers, after all. You could be called Nellie Dean, for all I care. I'm sure that you will agree that upon reflection that your particular private claims to individuality will have precious little consequence when your sub-editors get their dirty little paws on what will no doubt be your dirty little copy. So you see, your names don't matter to me. You might just as well christen the black beetles and cockroaches in a schoolboy's matchbox, for they all share the same ignominious fate, and they will, like the gentlemen of the capitalist press, crawl all over each other if necessary. It's all right. I haven't been drinking. Don't worry, I'm not being offensive.
You could have fooled me, sir.
The bottle, then, that's purely for decorative purposes, is it?
Winchester, did you say?
Yes, that's right.
Dry Wickham. No, it's not decorative. Help yourself. There are a few more thick tumblers in that cupboard over there in the kitchen. But don't expect me to wait upon you.
All right, I'll get him.
Right. Now. Questions, please. Brief and to the point.
Mr. Harris, now that you're here in Moscow,
Yes, now that I'm here in Moscow.
is it all you hoped it would be? Are you happy to be here?
Happy? Oh, this is home. Home being defined not as where you started out from, but where your journey ends. The journey you take inside your head.
But your journey, Mr. Harris, if you'll forgive me of duplicity, from Eton and Oxford and the Foreign Office to this rather sparse little room, was that all worthwhile? Are you happy?
Happy? Happy? Well, what's that got to do with it? What's this room got to do with it? I mean, if it had expensive furniture and fitting carpets and stuff, I suppose you would think my duplicity, as you call it, would be that much more worthwhile. You see, you all come from countries which judge a man by his material possessions rather than his mind. You're all so corrupted by this vulgar heresy. Excuse me, sorry. So corrupted by this vulgar heresy yourselves, you cannot help. You cannot help but judge what I have done in terms of the furniture in this miserable little room. Well, I'll tell you this. If I have to end up in a bare cell without any color or light, I would still have been right. And I would still do what I have done all over again.
Excuse me, sir. Is that what you and Mr. James would call the old school tie that you have round your neck?
Ah, yeah, I suppose you prefer it to be a rope, I suppose.
No comment.
But is that the old school tie?
Nowadays, almost all belief is prickled and speckled with desperate irony and necessary complexity. I mean, never judge a man by his badges or a movement by its emblems. I believe the British Labour Party still bellows the red flag at its annual party conference, which is rather like the convocation of Canterbury singing Eskimo Nell.
It is the old school tie, is it?
Well, is it?
Oh, no, no, no.
No. It just has stripes. I have conservative tastes, sartorially speaking, and so, my little friend, you cannot begin your piece by top red spy Adrian Harris was still wearing his old Etonian tie when you...
Excuse me, sir. I don't write that kind of prose.
Well, it's a pity you'd make so much more money that way, wouldn't you?
Mr. Harris, may I ask how long you've been a member of the Communist Party?
Yes, you may.
How long is it? I mean, have you always been a communist? Have you never had any doubts?
First of the day. Oh, dear. 30 years or more. A lifetime ago. A lifetime.
When you were an undergraduate?
Yeah, that's right, yes.
Oxford, of course.
Of course, Oxford, yes.
Last refuge of the lost cause.
Bells across the meadow. City of dreaming spires. Punts on the river. Champagne and strawberries. Straw hats. Narrow little streets full of...
Traitors? Pardon me, sir.
There were some, but not enough. Too much impotent posturing, too much consciousness of trivial intellectual fashion. Not enough real mind-scraping, mind-bending, bone-splintering commitment.
Your sort of commitment, is that what you mean? A total commitment to communism, to Moscow? I say, would you mind if I got myself some water?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. And some, yeah.
You man.
A rose thou's sick. The invisible worm that flies in the night, in the howling gale, has found out thy bed of crimson joy, and his dark secret love does thy life destroy.
You see yourself as the worm, sir?
What?
I said, do you see yourself as the worm?
The invisible worm.
Yes. I fly in the night. I fly in the night, and my belief understands and withstands the gale. My communism is still real. It's still alive. It's not just a function. It's just a function of my memory. It still absorbs all the disappointments and the doubts, fears, and the changes in the intellectual boutique.
Mr. Harris, what you've just propounded, doesn't that mean a certain rigidity, a certain dogma?
Oh, diddums. Big, bad words.
I'm sorry, but it seemed to sound like that to me. You did seem to phrase it, sir.
Now, listen to me, little liberal. There was a time when poets exploded like bombs. And now the same wordmongers don't even explode like punctured bags of stale air, for that is what they are. All they are. They chip out a careful little private language on the sagging tombstones of past belief, forgotten passion. They live in a graveyard. When they grew older, these 48-hour communists, they thought they were wiser, but they weren't wiser. They were shabbier. Oh, they helped post up the holiday posters outside the walls of Franco's prisons, but I held on. I maintained my belief, my faith, my belief in man. I held on, as I still here hold on, through all the anguish and deceit and blood and corruption, through all the disappointments and doubts and fears, through all the necessary lies, through all the petty betrayals of even pettier friendships, through and around and about all the bogs of habit, sentimentality, and so-called patriotism. You see, I had to turn my back on all that I had been brought up to love. The sticky coils of home and family, and is there honey still for tea, and the crusted port circulating from the left, and the bowls of walnuts on the sideboard, and the fat strawberries staining your fingers as you as you sprawl on the well-cut, well-mown, well-watered lawn in the jolly good boating weather, and the damp cucumber sandwiches cut into tidy triangles, and through all the cant and claptrap and stock exchange closing prices which nothing in life will sever, through all the horse dung and sicked-up bile of politicians prepared to use troops against coal miners, through all the festering hypocrisies of English ruling families. Families who stick together like...
Mama, I hate it here. Mama, please take me away from the school. Nobody likes me here.
They're no more aware of
Aren't you ashamed of yourself, Harris?
stunted opportunity.
Well, you jolly well should be ashamed of yourself. Especially as the son, I believe only son indeed, of the father whom your father is. And he would no more dream of counterfeiting the king's English than he would of counterfeiting the coin of the realm. Hazlitt. And none of this humming and hawing and mumbling or stumbling, eh, boy? So, let us hear the verse again. Fret not at all, Harris, but try a little harder. From the same place, if you'll be so kind. Come, come, boy, you sound like a coal miner with some dust in his larynx. Get on with it, do.
Farewell, green fields and happy groves. Flocks have took delight. Lands have
Nibbled. Cole Mackinson, read it. Harris, sit down. Sit down. And you will please be kind enough to bring the whole verse written out 20 times in impeccable handwriting to my study before morning prayers tomorrow. Cole Mackinson, proceed.
Farewell, green fields and happy groves, where flocks have took delight, where lambs have nibbled silent moves.
Repeat that line, boy.
Where lambs have nibbled silent moves.
Silent moves the feet of angels bright. A beautiful line. Where lambs have... What did the lambs do, Cole Mackinson?
Nibbled, sir.
What did the barbars do, Morland?
Nibbled, sir.
Greaves?
Nibbled, sir.
I think we're beginning to glimpse in the far and dim recesses of our minds exactly what it is that lambs do. What is your opinion on the matter, Brown?
They nibbled, sir.
How few?
Nibbled, sir.
Now, I'm sure we know what it is that Mr. Blake's lambs did. Don't we, Harris?
Yes, sir.
So you wouldn't mind telling me now what it was they did, would you, Harris? Come, we can't have forgotten quite so soon, can we? Farewell, green fields and happy groves, where flocks have took delight, where lambs have... What, Harris? Yes, I'm waiting. Help him, boys. All together.
Nibbles!
Precisely. Where lambs have...
Nibbles!
The poet said so, but perhaps Harris is persuaded that another word would be better. What other word, then, would you suggest, Harris, since you seem to have such difficulty with the one which William Blake chose in preference to all others? Where lambs have what?
peed themselves.
who stick together like all thieves stick together. I mean, they treat England like a private park or a private hunting ground. They're no more aware of the poverty and filth and the stunted opportunity or the true nature of the lives of most of their fellow citizens than they are of the landscape on Mars.
Are you aware of the true nature of Stalinism?
And what is that? The true nature of Stalinism?
Murder, mass murder?
I'm talking about England, as you're well aware.
As a communist?
Yes, as an English communist.
A loyal party member?
My fashion, yes.
Willing to accept every twist and turn, every contradiction, providing it came from the Kremlin.
Now, look, you're looking at it from the outside and with
Harris,
gross
that is
ignorance.
exactly the way that you look at England.
England. My father, he was an archaeologist, as you probably know. He spent most of his time digging below the topsoil, trying to find some remnants of Camelot. Well, I prefer to dig below a different sort of topsoil, not to find out about some mythical past, but to try and lay bare the reality of class conflict, to see it for what it is, and thus to see the machinery of change and growth and renewal.
Oh dear, Camelot again.
What?
Well, surely, Mr. Harris, you must realize that you grew up with dreams, or rather, delusions of Camelot in your childhood.
My childhood? What's my childhood got to do with this, for God's sake?
In the lost boyhood of Judas, Jesus was betrayed.
Rap.
No, Mr. Harris, quotation.
Do you think Solzhenitsyn should be published here in the Soviet Union? Or Trotsky, should he be published?
I don't know. I
What about
cannot
Trotsky?
say. I haven't read his
What about
work.
Trotsky?
Trotsky.
Well, isn't it time he was recognized in this country?
I'm
the
not
party
prepared
flag
to
and
talk
so on?
about this sort of thing to people of your sort. The fox doesn't exchange the time of day with the hound, so bear away, my friends. I do not propose to show all of myself to you or your sort unless I can possibly help it.
Is that how you see yourself, Mr. Harris? A hunted animal, a fox?
A hedgehog. I'm a hedgehog.
And please be sure, Mummy, to send me some chocolates and hard sweets too, because... spelt incorrectly. Because I owe some to other chaps in Winterton Dorm. Also some sticky tape, as I want to send back my soldiers in a parcel. I don't like it here. I hate it. Love Adrian.
Soldiers?
Yes.
What soldiers are those then?
He doesn't like it at
Oh, I
Barbican,
know.
Arthur.
Those mounted knights. Why does he call them soldiers?
Strange child. Withdrawn.
When is
Arthur,
this
I
damn
really think
strike
we ought-
going to end?
I don't know, soon I
I
suppose.
want to go down to that dig at Simon's Gate in Somerset. Got a lot of amateurs poking and prodding about down there.
Arthur, I really think we ought to go down there.
Quite
He's
obviously
not
an
happy.
earlier Celtic structure underneath the Roman earthworks. It could be exciting,
What?
if it's big enough. The Romans used all those existing structures, when and where they could. Trains aren't running yet, are they?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Whole country paralyzed.
Baldwin is very calm. I think he knows how to cope
Too
with it.
calm, smoking that damn pipe. No sense of vision. You can see it in his face. I'd like to take those strikers and show them that dig. Make them realize, I'm sure it would.
Make them realize
Show
what,
them what
Arthur?
lies just under their feet. Make them think about the richness of tradition, a continuity of dream, of hope that lies just under the topsoil of England. Appeal to their finer
I
feelings.
think they'd rather have an extra shilling in their pockets,
Oh,
Arthur.
yes, that's the whole trouble. That's what life today has been reduced to. Question of pounds, shillings, and pence. Nobody seems to lift up their heads anymore. No pride, no vision, no sense of magic.
No work either.
Material things, that's all. Hear it on the wireless, read it in the papers.
Thank you.
Pounds, shillings, and pence. Pounds, shillings, and pence. You don't measure a man like that. Dear God, no.
I'll send him some chocolates when the strike is over.
Resurgence, that's what's needed now. Renewal. A sense of vision.
I suppose so.
Took Adrian down to Tarquin's farm.
Oh, did you? When?
The day before you carted him off to school. Just for an hour or two.
He's not
Little
happy
talk,
there, Arthur. I
little
really
walk.
think
I lifted
we
him
ought
up
to-
and put him down on that wall that runs along by the pig pens. Great fat porkers ranting about. Black sow with a splendid litter. Lots of mud, too, oozing about.
Oh, Adrian would like that. He loves animals. Pretends to be a hedgehog.
Funny thing to be.
Curls up in the corner and says he has spikes all over him. Don't touch, he shouts.
Anyway, I took a chance to have a word or two with the boy. I've never been able to really, you know, get to him before. But I did this time, I think.
He's very withdrawn.
I watched the pigs for a bit. He was swinging his legs against the wall, bright as a button. Look at their skin, Adrian, I said. Look at it. See how much like our skin it is.
Yes, it is very like.
I suppose I came near to doing the heavy, wise old father act with him. It's the thing I vowed never to do. Well, it doesn't work, anyway.
He wants you to, Arthur. He's fascinated by you, intrigued.
Really?
He drew a picture of what he thought Camelot looked like. Well, it's a dreamland for him, of course. He hears you talking about King Arthur and... Well, you should talk to him more often. He's very receptive, really.
Oh, he's a bright lad, bright as a button. Don't let that stutter fool you.
Hedgehog, he says. I'm a hedgehog covered in prickles.
Well, anyway, we had a talk. Look at those pigs, Adrian, I said. Look at them. I want you to remember this. I want you to remember it in all your life, yet to come.
Goodness.
Always remember, I said, that most people, most of the time, are like those pigs down there. They run about, pushing their snouts in the mud, never dreaming there are better things over the pigsty wall. No conception of anything other than their bellies. You must always realize that the only choice in the end is between being a discontented philosopher or a happy pig. Look at that mud and make up your mind that life is worth more than that. Most of the people you will meet, I say, will be quite content with the mud. They'll be exactly like those pigs.
What did he say?
Huh?
What did he say?
Oh. And that damn brother of yours started shouting something about the cricket scores. He reared up on the far wall. Like a lunatic. Really, I mean, there's nothing at all in Tarquin's mind except pigs and cows and cover drive.
Look, don't bore me with that unspeakably stupid jargon. Keep that kind of sicked-up pap for your readers.
I was merely suggesting...
A man of your sort of education, your kind of privilege could not possibly become a communist from deep intellectual conviction or the certainty that this international moon best expresses or indeed encapsulates the positive yearnings of mankind. You see, when faced with that sort of proposition, you and your sort of very put it down to some kind of sickness, some kind of psychiatric disorder or look, once and for all, I am what I am and I did what I did because of what I believe, not because of some psychosis or neurosis or some shadow that still haunts me from the cradle or the cricket pavilion or whatever else. You understand?
Oh, forgive me for making such an elementary blunder as to presume that there might be occasions when the child is father to the man.
Millions of children, Mrs. James, millions. In the biggest part of the world, never even grow up at all. They just start. So don't go quoting bloody old Wordsworth.
He was talking about personal experience.
Yes, all right, I know what he's talking about.
Look, you've never starved.
What?
You've never been in a concentration camp.
No. I went straight from my prep school to Eton, from Eton to Oxford to the Brigade of Guards, and the Guards to the Foreign Office, all the way from a nursery with a wooden rocking horse in it to a nursery with a wooden rocking horse in it. Giddy up, giddy up.
Mr. Harris, you've let go of nurse. Have you found anything better?
What?
Well, always keep a hold of nurse for fear of finding something worse.
Literate, aren't you?
Yes, fairly.
Yeah, congratulations. Must be a hell of a problem for you when you're cabling your stories. Stuff from the tabloids from a literate wickamist.
Oh, yes, that's what you mean.
A few sordid little paragraphs and a nasty big headline pasted up between the tit and thigh. A free press, right? Tit and thigh and literate wickamist.
Well, it is a living, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Go on, quote some more Belloc. Go on, quite a few more sweet fey lines from that sweet fey anti-Semite.
Anti-Semite? I don't think I can recall any more, not at the moment.
Yeah?
No.
It's a living, isn't it? I'm not ashamed of it.
And I'm not. You see, I'm not responsible for the tit and thighs.
They answered as they took their fees. There's no cure for this disease. Oh, God. Belloc again, dear old Belloc. Wrong!
And slowly answered Arthur from the barge, the old order changeth, yielding place to new. If thou shouldst never see my face again, pray for my soul. More things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of. Wherefore let thy voice rise like a fountain for me, night and day. Shh, shh, shh. This is what King Arthur says. Now listen to this, Adrian. You'll be asleep soon. Close your eyes, my little lad. You'll soon be better.
No, no. Give me that film. Come on, give it to me.
I have a heart, Mr. Harris. I've hunted this stuff up 16
that
floors.
film, if you'd be so kind.
Work. You had to work on
Look, I got a permit, honestly.
To do with me.
He wouldn't have boarded it if he hadn't been given to
Well,
understand.
give.
Hell.
I made it quite clear that I didn't want any photographs taken here in this place, in these four walls.
What's the matter? Make it seem like you're ashamed of it in some
The
way.
Soviet Ministry of Internal Affairs gave me written permission to bring my
Ashamed?
cameras.
That's for you to say, comrade.
And I think I completely share only one of the really strong emotions which are peculiar to the English upper class, and that is their firm and easily attestable conviction that the Americans as a people are irredeemably vulgar.
I've got written permission.
All right, well, keep it. Keep the bloody thing. Keep the photograph. Call it what you like. Call it Paradise Lost, or a man comes home, or even what a tangled web he wove.
Knowing the average Pix editor, it'll be far more to the point than that.
Staggered brilliantly. Landseer up to date, huh?
Oh, I'd lay odds that the caption will be the traitor. Just the traitor.
That's... Traitor. To my class, yes. To my country. No, not to England. Not to England.
It's hardly a socialist realism, is it? It's not exactly a Marxist-Leninist concept of man's relationship to his environment.
That picture.
Shouldn't you turn it to the wall?
That landscape. I love England. Of course I do. Well, there's no need to look so affronted. That paint represents to me one image of my motherland, and an image that will always haunt me, like the paintings of Constable and Turner. A few lines in Keats, all soft, damp, light and gentle colors, suddenly leaping into brilliance or fading into a river haze or a dark, overhanging hedgerow. The England of the watermill, the cricket field, and gentle faces, lemonade in a haystack, and rooks coagulating on the tall bare trees like premature blobs of night. I always stutter when I get pretentious. But there is another England, you know, and you can paint it in blood and tears and sweat and slime and shit. Never seek to tell that love. Love that never told can be.
You're a tormented man, Mr. Harris. It's because you...
Oh, bollocks.
Did you bring this with you?
What?
The picture.
Oh, yeah, there's a picture. Yes, of course I did. Yes, that and a few books. All I had time to gather together when I knew the game was up.
It's very appropriate. Yes, it bears about as much relationship to England of the 1970s as your particular political philosophy does. And just as that paint has long since dried, so your ideas, your visions, if you like, have long ago set into some particular caste, some particular dogma. And now you're trapped, aren't you? All those dreams and hopes of a better world reduced to this uncomfortable room in an uncomfortable block, in an uncomfortable city, in the biggest and most soul-destroying bureaucracy the world has ever seen.
Basic human freedoms.
What's that? What?
The basic human freedoms that are taken for granted in any really civilized country don't begin to exist here. You can't even lead Lenin uncensored.
Is that so? It's not true.
How do you begin to explain the fact that the
I'll
founder of your religion
explain
is the
nothing
one-
to you. Nothing at all.
Oh, I see.
No, you
I see.
don't.
You won't explain anything to
You
me.
don't
haven't
see,
got a
buddy.
brief to
Oh,
explain.
buddy, boy. You don't see. You never will. You never will. You're ranting about like a porker, trying to find out some little acorn of understanding, some little tiny glimmer of a clue to make comprehensible to the pap-fed mothers of America the sad, sad tale of a real gentleman gone to the wreck.
Well, if you'll excuse me, sir, I think it's quite legitimate to try and make
You're
comprehensible
wasting
to the
your
pap-
time.
or
You're
pseudo-intellectual-
wasting your time. You just will seek to explain to them the odd fact that poor Haitian peasants are not unduly fond of being bound by rich white Americans with
Come
dip
on,
in their
for Christ's
bellies and
sake.
pot in
Come
their
on, do you want me to quote that? Do you want me to quote that kind of sixth-form stuff?
Czechoslovakia the same?
What?
Isn't Czechoslovakia the same? I agree with you about Vietnam. Do you agree with me about Czechoslovakia?
Well, it's a very different situation. Very different situation. Much more complex. Much more.
Soviet troops rolled over the border and put down the Czechoslovak people. Did you agree with that?
Do I agree with your formulation of what happened, do you mean?
No, Mr. Harris, I don't mean that. I mean, do you agree with the policy of the Soviet government?
Could you do that?
Yes, yes, sir.
Get it.
You agree with the policy of the government in this particular event, this particular situation?
Thank you. As I said before, it's a very tragic situation, very much more complex.
Oh, dear, you are being
more complex.
Dare not be anything else.
Too damned evasive be your crude man-traps.
All those years of double dealing, I suppose. Well, every morning, walking down Whitehall with your rolled umbrella and your rolled newspaper, and all the time passing on information to the Soviet government, invaluable information.
There wouldn't be much point in passing on worthless information.
This certainly wasn't worthless. Some people who ought to know say the stuff you passed on entirely negated the whole Western intelligence system since the Berlin airlift.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
Oh, it's an overstatement. Still is the way all you people earn your daily bread, isn't
But
it?
is it an overstatement? Haven't you, in fact, passed on so much stuff to the Soviets that they now know the ins and outs of every box file in Whitehall and half of those in Washington as well?
It's an
And
overstatement.
how do you see it?
I merely try to help the socialist nations ward off the very real threat of nuclear attack.
Yes, of course, you would see it that way, Mr. Harris. But may I ask you, in all those years and all that time, did you never have a twinge of conscience, a spasm of doubt about, well, for example, all the Western agents who must have been murdered because of the information that you passed on?
Conscience, you use that word, a lackey like you.
Yes, Mr. Harris, I damn well do.
Conscience. What a vulgar and adulterated concept you make it sound. It comes over your tongue like a peppermint with a hole in the middle. Well, I haven't got your sort of conscience, the dribbling, sniveling kind you mean. I've done nothing that the political situation did not specifically warrant. Wasn't the murder of any one man is by nature horrible and dehumanizing. Wasn't it Orden or somebody? Orden, an issuer to someone. Orden, yeah. It was just all about the necessary murder, the murder of tens or even hundreds of millions of lives trying to prevent that, and the continued brutalization, victimization, and exploitation of millions and millions and millions more. Oh, Jesus Christ. Conscience. Oh, shit, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the soul or bodily assumption. Parliamentary democracy, how about that? Jesus Christ. Conscience.
Oh, for God's sake, give it a rest.
Conscience. God. you want?
British Embassy.
Well, yes.
British Embassy.
Do you realize what time it is?
English. Not good.
Nearly
Not
half-past 4 in the morning.
Very urgent, please. Very urgent. Please, see ambassador.
Well,
I'm very sorry, sir, but I don't know who he is.
All right.
Stойте!
Listen, are you a British subject?
You Mikhailov.
Russian? You're Russian?
Вам не нужно здесь стоять, слушали вы?
Mr. Commissioner.
Look, you better come in. Come in, sir. Look, I'm sorry, I don't think I can be much help, but there are obviously...
Не можете здесь стать, это английское посольство, слушали вы? Иди сюда, товарищ! Иди сюда, товарищ!
Quite a lark, eh? Apparently the duty clerk in Helsinki nearly sent him away.
How far, that man?
My God, Adrian, talk about pennies from heaven.
Rubles, at any rate.
The minister was cock-a-hoop for once.
But why on earth did you have to go and tell that old fool without asking me?
Now, look here, Adrian, you had to be told. You can't go playing hush-hush with our own masters, you know.
Had to be told. Why? I mean, the less politicians know about this sort of stuff, the better. I mean, they're incompetent morons. They still think of espionage as the 39 steps.
Yes, well, he thinks there's every chance the Russians are worried enough to try and get rid of him the moment he steps out of that embassy building. And I must say, I agree with him. And so he wants him interrogated in the embassy immediately. Can't move the chap. It makes sense, Adrian. You see, he says he has the names of 3 Russian agents with high positions in our security service. Well, now, that's a bit of a bombshell.
I do not think that he should be questioned in the British embassy.
But why, Adrian?
I should have thought it was obvious, Charlie. Now, look, old bean. We can't have this Mikhailov fella chattering away to wide-eyed typists or bored window cleaners or whoever else may be frittering away his time at the embassy corridors. That's the last place I want anybody to talk about anything. We might just as well send it to the Kremlin in a registered envelope.
Perhaps you're right, Adrian, but the minister doesn't see it that way.
Finland. Finland is the exact geographical equivalent of the village grocery store. All gossip, all trading. Plenty of stuff under the counter. Directly bordering on the Soviet Union, yet not connected to any Western alliance. A real gossip shop.
Karloff's a pretty big fish, and he's got his teeth into 3 even bigger fish.
Well, then let's get him out of this smelly little pond. He's far too vulnerable there.
Adrian, the minister is adamant. Anyway, the sooner we get their names, the better. Might even know the buggers.
Right, well, everything can wait, but my lunch can't.
Where are you eating?
Soho, I think.
I join you.
Well, yes, yes, of course, Charlie, why not? Lovely. I tell you what, Charlie, I think I might scoot on out to Helsinki myself.
You? You must be joking, Adrian. Lazy dog like you.
No. Change would do me good. Gosh, let's talk about the soul or the assumption or angels or parliamentary democracy. How about that? Jesus. Oh, God, Jesus Christ, conscience. Now, look, I insist that Mikhailov be brought here. But I've flown out to Helsinki to save time. We none of us think that it's safe to question him in the embassy itself. Oh, we have reason to believe that there's a Russian agent on the embassy staff. Oh, no, I can't talk about it now, no. Now, look, Ambassador, I know my job.
What about Mikhailov?
Oh, what about him?
Weren't you in Helsinki when he was murdered?
No, yeah.
Shot down in the street. Cold blood.
Ah, so reprimanded, the minister reprimanded me. But he's a naughty boy. I had to work a Whitsun weekend. One car only. 2 armed guys. Car passes through Prospect Street, Nurmi Street, Barrack Street, Arrived at Square of the Lakes at approximately 1440 hours.
Get back.
Get back. Oh.
You talk about conscience?
Yeah, nothing you can begin to grasp. Not even begin to grasp.
No, sir.
No.
I don't.
No, well, I think, gentlemen, you've all had time enough, haven't you, to put your relevant questions to me, and I'm a little tired, very tired. I had a busy day. Busy. It's been a busy day. Been a busy day at the office.
Steady on, don't you think you've...
Earthquake. Thank you. Thank you. Very tired. Very tired. Very tired. Very... Oh. Very tired. There's no need. No need to pretend anymore. There's no Avalon. No, stop that.
Have another drink, eh?
That's right.
Howley, buddy boy.
Don't be vague. Ask for the plague. Oh, you miserable sods. Farewell, green fields, and happy groves where flocks took delight, where, well, lambs and
Nibbled, isn't it, William Blake?
Oh, literate, aren't you? Literate. Where are you? Ah, yes. Yes, would you be so kind as to repeat the verb again?
I beg your pardon?
Say the word again!
Nibbled.
Yes, and you say it too.
Nibbled.
Yeah, and you say.
You like?
Yeah, I do like.
Nibbled.
Yeah, and you give me the word. Come on, give me the word. The word.
Murder?
No. Oh. Not that one, the other word, the other one, no.
Somebody mind telling me what we're supposed to be talking about?
Oh, the boy who chooses death. The king. No, you're supposed to be taking pictures here, not to make sense. Just see there's another bottle in a cupboard, another bottle of the spirit of war.
There is, but it's not whiskey.
Not?
No, it's vodka. It's got Russian letters on it.
Ugh. Oh. Well, come on. Pour us out all. Pour us all out another wee droppy. Another wee dog and Doris. Come on, fill it up. Come on, fill it. Nice. I nearly said, fill this up. Fill this up. That's nearly said. Not very long. Dude, Lasky. Yeah, old Lasky town. There's something matter with Lasky. But it's going down and down.
Round and round.
Out and down! There is something the matter with all of it, and Lasky, all of it. It was a terrible. There I go again. It was a total shock for me when I saw for the very first time.
What did you see?
Bottom of a glass.
What a witty man. Oh, yes, indeed. What a witty man. What a witty man you are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm witty, and I'm sober.
I saw for the very first time, I saw
What did you see?
what people lived like.
Oh, God, it would be the top floor, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and the gilded one might even say Baroque lips. Never damn well seem to work.
Baroque? Baroque? Good fun gives you a lift.
Oh, the lifts never work. Get up if the bugger's not in.
You don't trust me? Never seek to tell thy love, love that never token be, for the gentle wind has moved silently, invisibly. I told my love, I told her all my heart. Shit.
Fellow pushed the button again? Don't tell me he's done another bunk.
Probably just a suit.
Chicken. That's more like it.
That's right, it's Tavarishy.
Do you mind?
Sure comrade's entirely the right word, sir?
Well, certainly. Remember the microphone. And be careful. Careful. For God's sake, remember the microphone.
But now farewell. I am going a long way, with these thou seest, if indeed I go, for all my mind is clouded with a doubt, to the island valley of Avilion, where falls not hail or rain or any snow, nor ever wind blows loudly, but it lies deep meadowed, happy, fair with orchard lawns and bowery hollows crowned with summer sea, where I will heal me of my grievous wound,